Hi, everybody. Welcome to Eating Peace this week. A very fascinating idea is sort of one that is quite contradictory, and that is that this invitation around compulsion or addiction of any kind is to be open to the pain of it, to be open to the pain that is in your heart, to be at peace with inner disturbance. Isn't that strange? Doesn't it seem contradictory? How can I actually be at peace with inner disturbance? But it's something very powerful and important to consider. It's one thing I noticed after years of repetitive binge eating and sometimes smoking for a while back in my early 20s, smoking cigarettes. Drinking and partying sometimes with other people. And there's a myriad of other behaviors. Sometimes people can clean their house, feeling compulsive about it, like they cannot stop, emptying the garbage and making things look perfect. And kind of there's a fast, aggressive movement to it. So you can be compulsive or driven with just about anything in a moment, and this idea about avoiding pain, avoiding an inner disturbance. I was working with somebody recently, and they were talking about feeling incredibly rejected by somebody. I know this feeling myself. It is really interesting to just notice even a whiff or a real outright, I am never speaking to you again, or getting cut off by somebody in a relationship. To take it personally means something extremely painful in the heart. But to do it, what often happens with us, at least I notice this over and over again, is I'm almost building a fortress inside of myself to make sure I avoid or handle or fight through or bolster myself up against that kind of attack, rejection. It's kind of like living your life, making sure you only hang around with people who really, really like you, or, you make sure that you dress a certain way, or the way I used to feel that your body's a certain level of being in shape or perfect enough looking so that nobody ever rejects you or they look up to you. And it's very strange kind of outside physicality and an effort and an intention to push hard to make sure that all stays intact and really looking good so that you avoid this inner terrible pain of rejection. And this person I was working with recently was talking about maintaining a perfect weight and how she had done that so well a lot in her life. And she was speaking about a previous relationship that she had where, because that person was too difficult to deal with, she cut him off. Bam. Out of my life, and I'm not going to do anything that I used to do that might mean I would encounter that person either. So even the activities that they used to do and run into each other at, she's making sure she never, ever, ever goes to those activities and or has any chance of running into this person. It kind of reminded me of myself doing that. And just to think of that there's a part of us that of course is very interested in protecting our innocent and vulnerable hearts. None of us like to be rejected. Nobody wants that. But to then take that and use it as kind of a deep imprint in your psyche, in your soul, in your heart, and live your life like you want to make sure to never do that again, and that it was those people who made you feel that pain. It's a stand of somebody who has things happen at them and happen to them, and who is, kind of childlike or small or like a victim. Somebody else did something, and I am going to make sure they never do that to me again. Kind of a tough role, but they did it to me. And it's a sort of weird, paradoxical place where, you're experiencing yourself as a victim and you might not even realize it. I mean, I've had that. And sometimes I don't even know what to do. Somebody seems super aggressive or really intense or really grabby, or I don't know, the different kinds of things that we all personally want to avoid. People have their different things that they want to avoid. And that I want to keep away from it because I want to be safe. I don't want to be triggered. I don't want to feel hurt. I don't want to feel rejected. But if I really look deeply at that, is this other person the one that's making me feel that way? Could I really know that it's true that that person is the cause of my problem, of the cause of this pain firing off in my own heart? No, I can't find that that's true. Somebody else is making me feel bad. I can't absolutely know that. Now, I'm not denying that what other people have said or done in your life, in my life as well, have not been extremely painful. But here's the next step. Can I be at peace with that disturbance? Can I feel like open and kind of even almost welcoming whatever happens next, or just life, so that I'm not living in a world of like a prison where I have to make sure I never do that behavior again to avoid further future rejection, or that I have to go everywhere over here is okay, but don't go into that neighborhood because that's the one where those people who are really mean and nasty and judgmental, I don't ever want to go over there because I could be rejected over there. You know, I might just whatever. It's not a free life. It's not a free life. It's like the same kind of thing as saying I cannot be in the presence of that kind of food. Because, if I'm in the presence of that kind of food, I'll just start to eat it. You know, I can't have it in my house. I can't keep it. And I'm not saying you should keep some kind of food in your house that triggers you. But is the food doing it? Or is there something on the inside of you that's unwilling to be disturbed that is doing it? I just found out every time I'm playing a role here. I'm involved. It's not just what's happening outside of me that is causing my disturbance. My attitude becomes my way of relating to life is it's a little bit of a scary thing. I don't know what's going to happen. Worry about that, you know? Make sure you look as good as you can. Make sure you've got things under control so that life is smooth. We don't want to have one of those risky moments where it's disturbing. Unfortunately, life is disturbing. So I'm going to put a ton amount of energy into making sure bad things don't happen if I have that attitude. And I'm going to stuff my face. That's what I did. I just stuffed my face with food in order to get the frenzied energy, kind of tamped down. I mean, in a way it's interesting. You're eating and you're kind of shoving something down, inside of you. And what a difficult way to live. And I didn't know another way. And anyone who's had that experience, I know you don't. And what if there is no solution to that feeling of disturbance? I asked this group recently, that was the last day of a class, the Eating Peace Core class that I teach from time to time. And we were looking, once again, really deeply at underlying beliefs, very deep underlying beliefs. And the question, what would happen if you didn't eat in that moment when you feel the wild craving or you feel the pain, you feel the anxiety? What would happen? I mean, I used to feel like I will go crazy. I will implode. I will explode. I don't know what will happen, but it'll be just horrible. I can't stand it. I can't stand feeling this way. Really powerful to notice. It's just a feeling. Are you sure you can't stand it? The surrendered place, I can't fight this anymore. I can't work so hard at making sure nobody ever rejects me and I am always liked on the outside, or that eating always goes perfectly well. The effort put into that is more than I was willing to live. And I wanted to have a free life. Freedom became so critically important. more important than avoiding pain. So just consider that today. Am I avoiding pain or am I willing to feel it? I know that's a little bit different than moving all the way to, sort of kindness and bliss and love and happiness, but maybe there's a wall of pain that you might need to go through before you get to that happiness side. It might feel really hard, but even if your head is screaming, you have to eat the ice cream right now, or you won't feel, and there's no other way to calm down. Can you sit on the couch with that mind screaming? Is there some greater part of you that knows you're okay no matter what your brain is telling you, no matter what's going on, or no matter what someone else is even saying about you? Those people out there that have rejected you or called you names or never want to talk to you again, are you okay anyway? No matter what somebody's perception is of you in any given moment, are you okay even if this pain is welling up in your heart and you feel heartbroken? What I notice is feelings move and they flow and they change. They do not stay there 24/7 all the time, radiating at you every moment. They do that far more if you're trying to avoid them. So, once again, find somebody to talk to, write in your journal, consider what you feel the greatest amount of rejection or what's been the most heartbreaking in your life, and are you trying to avoid that happening ever again? The most amazing questions in the self-inquiry process called the work of Byron Katie are to notice, can I move into being willing to experience that pain again? Could I even look forward to it? Could I open to it at least? If I can't say that I could look forward to it, can I open up to it? Because there will be something on the other side. And it's called peace. You have to start with peace about the disturbance. And then the peace can grow bigger. At least that's what I've found. And I hope you can too. All right. Let me know how it goes. Bye.